Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm here joined by Michael Visenberg of Get in the Game 101. They're doing a draft course this coming week, and it's going to be over the next coming weeks. And he's a good friend of mine. I did the course for the NBA trade deadline, learned a bunch. And if you really want to get the ins and outs of the NBA, just how things work, this is a great course to get in your repertoire. Use my code Cyro. Links in the description. And Mikey, let me hear a little bit about yourself and introduce yourself to the people.
Hey, what's up, Cyro? Thanks for having me on. I have been around basketball for a really long time. Been covering the NBA draft for quite a while. Just was interested in it from a very young age. And I wrote for a website called NBAdraft.net for quite a few draft cycles. Was with Perspective Insight as well, and I have done a few other various basketball things, written articles, covered events. The Nike Hoop Summit was an event I covered for many years, along with a few others. So yeah, I've gotten to see a lot of these prospects from their grassroots stages, and definitely check them out in college. And yeah, man, originally from Toronto, but have lived in Portland, Oregon for quite a while, and met Cyro through a friend of mine named Sam Yip. Shout out,
Sam.
And yes, sir. So yeah, we got to hang out quite a bit during the Hoop Summit week and during Portsmouth Invitational Tournament, where I've helped out with BAM testing the past couple of years. So yeah, just my kind of NBA draft history.
Yeah, basically. And I knew first Mikey from afar, just from Twitter, and then was, like he said, very fortunate to meet him over the scouting trails in the last 2 years, and thankfully been able to call him a friend now. So invited him here to do a mock draft. I'm just going to do the first two picks because we already know who these are going to be. It's going to be Cooper Flagg and Dylan Harper.
Just be about where Harper's going to go.
I agree with that. The assumption is it's going to be the Spurs. If not, Giannis Antetokounmpo trade could end up on the Bucks or rerouted somewhere else, right? But I've said this. I really think Dylan Harper could be the left-handed Kate Cunningham. And there's like a big drop-off between the first two picks and then the rest of it. It's not like a bad thing. It's just like there's a significant tier difference. You agree with me on this, right?
I do agree with you, sir.
Okay, so third pick, everybody's gonna go with the casual, the easy conception, easy like notion to think is that, oh, they need a power forward. Ace Bailey fits that. But I've read, and my personal thought is he just doesn't fit the timeline and the style of play that Daryl Morey and Nick Nurse would want to go with. So do you believe if they were to keep the pick, because there's a strong possibility they end up trading this pick, VJ Edgecombe, or do you think Knueppel or somebody else?
I'm not sure about them keeping the pick. That would be, I think, the big thing. Like, especially, if they feel like they can kind of rally around that core, then that could be, a possible nice asset to trade with. You have Jared McCain coming back.
But who are you trading for, though, realistically? RJ Barrett?
Probably not.
Yeah.
I would think that.
And I said that
like an all-star level guy. Yeah.
And the whole thing is what I meant by that. There isn't going to be. That pick is not going to get them in the Giannis Antetokounmpo sweepstakes.
Oh no. So not unless. Yeah, I can't imagine.
You're not trading for Kevin Durant either.
You probably have to trade Tyrese Maxey and that pick in order to even get close
to us. And they won't do that. And your assumption is you're probably using Kelly Oubre, right? And some sort of other salary filler to get that done. Because you want to keep the George, Maxey, Embiid, make that work. But we're going to operate that they keep the pick. If you were them, are we going VJ or are we going Knueppel? I think Knueppel, less defensive version, more shooting version of like a DeAndre Hunter coming out of college. Like that's
if you're going for like the pure shooter,
who can do a little bit of everything else too.
Look, he's solid. My one thing with Khan is like I wonder what the like overall upside is.
Well, I'm saying kind of like a Hunter guy, DeAndre Hunter-esque guy, maybe with less defense.
Like I know DeAndre Hunter did go 4th in the draft.
Is that a bad comp?
Well, he's a lot longer than Khan, and
but that's why I said less defense, better shooting. But that role, Swiss Army knife, like kinda...
But do you want that as the 3rd pick? That's my question.
But at the time, the Hawks were like in a situation where they needed that. You needed those glue guys and like Swiss Armies, and like Khan could be that connecting piece, kind of how Hunter was envisioned for the Hawks at the time.
Wasn't it?
Hunter, they had Herter, they had Trae Young, they had I think that offseason they would, I don't know if they had Ori brought in
or they were Lakers, right? Like Lakers had the pick, gave it to the Pelicans, gave it to the Hawks. Wasn't that the deal?
Yeah, but the Hawks were gonna wanted Hunter. So the whole thing was they knew that they needed another guy next to Herter, and they were planning on going out and getting, I think, Gallinari, and they already had Capella. So like it made sense. You know what I mean? In terms of like
I think you liked Hunter because of the versatility. Like he was more a guy who could play either forward spot too.
And I think obviously I don't think that. I think Khan's more the swingman version of that because he ended up measuring a little smaller, but he's still 6'6". He's still 6'6" in shoes.
But he's like I think
you're disregarding
my size. I have my size.
Who are we going though with? I feel like we're getting caught up on the 3rd pick here.
Do you think Khan's going to go 3?
I think if you're looking for a win now player who fits the timeline and you don't want as much of a headache in terms of are they going to fit, Khan's the like least risky.
Yeah.
You agree with that? He's going to fit.
No, I don't know. I don't know, man. I think
okay, look at this. Quentin Grimes is coming back, so you can put Knueppel. Tell me Knueppel would be better than Lonnie Walker, or I think he'd be better than.
If you have here, hold on. If you have,
I don't think there's no upside guy to take.
And Grimes, and you take Khan, like to me, Khan's like I know the wing. Oh, very sorry.
No, you're good.
Hold on. If you take Khan to be the 3, like there, I think
you're getting caught up on the minutia of the pick. You are the Sixers. You're not trading the pick. You need a guy to help you win right now. Who's going to help you win right now? It's Khan. That you don't need to wait. Like who has a skill set? F the upside. I need a guy who can fit next to Paul George and Tyrese Maxey. It's Khan.
We're like you and I both discussed that we're going with who we think is going to be the actual pick, right? I'm not sure Khan's going to be the actual pick.
I think if you have the 3rd pick, I think Khan has a strong possibility going right here.
I think it's
they would probably, huh?
I think it's Bailey or Edgecombe. I think it's Bailey or Edgecombe.
If they were to get Edgecombe, I just think they become a hugely guard-heavy team. You know what? I'm going VJ Edgecombe. Is it Edgecombe or Edgecombe?
Edgecombe.
Edgecombe. That's what I thought. Okay. Edgecombe. I'm going to go with VJ just because I do think he's like an in-between of Kassan Wallace and Victor Oladipo. Kaysen.
Yeah.
It's not Kassan? Kaysen? Dude, why did I say Kassan? Kaysen. I knew that. I knew this. Kaysen Wallace. I knew this. Either way, Kaysen Wallace.
Let's take VJ. Let's also assume that this pick could possibly be.
I just think seeing what Wallace was able to do coming out of the same program for a Thunder's team in back-to-back playoffs, being able to be a perimeter attack defender to actually play some minutes.
Kaysen Wallace also came out of Kentucky.
Dude, what is going on with me right now in my head?
Cyro. Let's go with VJ Edgecombe. Let's assume that they want the defense. They want somebody that they know is going to work hard.
Dude, I just mixed up Jared Butler and Davion Mitchell with Mr. fucking what's his face?
Wallace, yeah.
Kaysen Wallace. Either way, my whole point is what I saw with Kaysen Wallace, 6'3", and I would say VJ is a little bit bigger.
Yeah, a little bit. Kaysen had a longer wingspan.
Now that I kind of thought this through, you got Quinn Grimes, you have Jared McCain, you have Edgecombe, and you have Tyrese Maxey. And then as a last minute break the glass guy, Eric Gordon, I'm actually not too terrible with when we talked about that, I understand not taking Knueppel right here and you take VJ because I think VJ should be able to give you, if not similar or better production than Con. And I understand me getting overthought and wanting to find a guy who's just going to be able to fit in instead of.
Yeah. I think with both of them, my one issue with both of them is that I think physically they have some limitations at the NBA level, like positional.
And VJ needs to figure out his left hand.
And that for sure. But yeah, I think he's a tremendous athlete. He's a guy that you are pretty sure is going to defend and creates events on the defensive end. So yeah, you at least have that as a guy who could possibly be playable down the line too. Not that Con isn't going to be. I don't know. 3 is rich for my blood with Con, and I think he's a great prospect. He's an awesome shooter. I worry a little bit of the limitations with his lack of length, the possible athletic limitations. He's a strong guy, but yeah, I think at 3 that's rich.
Can I say this?
Yeah.
I think there's a greater possibility that I'm debating between VJ and Con than VJ and Ace.
Yeah, I mean that's certainly possible too. I with Daryl Morey. I just
don't think Ace fits Daryl Morey or even Nick Nurse's style of playing, or even the timeline. It's not even against Ace. It's just I think Ace just has things where they're just we can't really wait for you to grow up, and I just think VJ and Con have kind of just shown obedience, not even obedience, where they're just I'll play within the system type guys.
Yeah, I more likely, yeah.
And I think when they're looking we just need a guy, potential's awesome, but we just need someone to come in and play what we need them to do.
Yeah.
So Ace to the Hornets right here, because it just seems like the Hornets pick.
Yeah. So at the 4th pick, I do think if Ace was available,
it would also allow them to move off of Miles Bridges. Realistically, if we want to go into this, it would allow them, and then it also give them another option next to Brandon Miller.
It's pretty much Brandon Miller again. Yeah, exactly. A lot of this is very similar.
You can now figure out if Brandon Miller is a shooting guard or a small forward, and you can figure out if Ace is.
Well, and then also if Ace does gain the requisite strength, you would like to play him at the 4.
So, and circling back to the whole Miles Bridges thing, if you can find out somebody to take that contract, or eventually when you do move off of him, you have his replacement, Mm-hmm. So then you go to Utah. Who wants to go hang out with the Mormons?
I think quite a few players in this draft would love it. Yeah.
They need a point guard. I talked with them. They don't see Keontae George as a point guard.
They need a lead guard, but
I think this is a debate between Jeremiah Fears and Trey Johnson. My problem with Trey Johnson is that he'd be another player that they already have so many of. And it's not that they're similar. They just already have to figure out how to get rid of Colin Sexton and Jordan Clarkson. But then you have Keontae George, you have Brees Sinsaba, you have KJ Martin, Johnny Juzang, Svi Mikhailou, all these guys that all just kind of play the swing man, the shooting guard, small forward position that I just think won't work. Your take, what do you think?
Well, the way you pronounce Bryce Sensabaugh was absolutely classic. But
dude, somebody told me it was Brees. Someone told me it was Brees, not Bryce. I'm Googling this because somebody told me, dude, I always used to say Bryce, and someone was like, it's actually Brees.
This is amazing. If it is, then I'll take the L, but I don't think it is, man. But either way,
tell me what you were going to say.
Yeah, I think that with Danny Ainge, the classic thing that he does is just asset build and look to trade for future draft capital. And I don't know how much you get with that. So
you're saying Trey Johnson?
I would think Trey Johnson, and also I think Trey Johnson's scoring upside is tremendous, and I think puts him on a different level than some of the guards that they have right now. I also kind of worry. The thing with Jeremiah Fears is, I think he got to the basket. He made plays. I worry about the size, and I worry about the shooting. So as a smaller guard. So yeah, that's where I think Trey Johnson would probably be the most likely fifth pick.
I agree with that. I agree when you put it all like that. All right, Bryce, I actually hate my friend. There's also a friend who watches a bunch of college basketball, so I took his fucking word for it. So I'm so mad.
Yeah, it's
okay,
dude. April Fool's, Cyro.
So logically, you would think that the Wizards coming up, if the Jazz take Trey Johnson, they need a point guard, the Wizards. But I sit here and I think Derek Queen, local guy, they do need a center. And Derek Queen actually works really well with Alex Sarr. Alex Sarr also had a tear. He finished up the regular season playing really well, was hitting the three-point shot, was upper teens in terms of points per game. And I think the idea, if you get Derek Queen, who's not as good defensively, but is significantly better offensively than Alex Sarr, you can kind of do the yin-yang thing where Alex Sarr is the defensive front court player, Derek Queen is the offensive guy, and they kind of cancel one of each other out in terms of their weaknesses.
Now I'm a little concerned with Derek Queen and what I saw athletically at the combine.
That is true. But Alex Sarr is a freak athletically in comparison.
No, it's not even about Alex Sarr. It's about Derek Queen. And people were clowning on Janai Broom for hitting the 11'1" touch point, the exact same touch point that Derek Queen hit and had an inch less vertical. He was the slowest in lane agility. He was one of the slowest in three-quarter court sprint. His reaction time was slow. And I get that these combine drills don't necessarily mean everything, and there are different types of athleticism, and he is a really talented player, but he's smaller for a center. And
what was Alper and Şengün's testing?
He didn't test at the combine. I think.
In Treviso? Did you do the Treviso?
They didn't have Treviso back when.
Is Treviso new?
No, they had done it for a long time, and then once COVID came, it stopped.
Oh, it was that? I forgot. Yep. Yeah. But they did do the Garuba Şengün thing. The Rockets had that, and now they did it with Jabari, and they planned. You get what I was trying to say?
I didn't see what you were trying to say. Are you just comparing him to Şengün?
That's what people do on the internet. I'm not comparing him. But I'm saying I was comparing the situation.
I think Şengün is a better athlete than him.
I think so. But I was comparing the situation where the Rockets always try to find a defensive counterpart to Şengün in the front court. Yeah,
but that's not a defensive counterpart unless you're
Alex Sarr is the I'm saying if you took Queen, you already have his defensive counterpart. Okay. Who's a floor spacer.
But are you sure that Queen's Şengün?
No, I'm not saying that.
Yeah. I mean that's the parallel.
I think Derek Queen is the modern day Al Jefferson personally, but which is a really good player.
Yeah.
But
doesn't necessarily crush it in this particular.
Do you think? I think Al Jefferson, modern day Al Jefferson, is a pretty apt comparison.
Yeah, I don't know.
A little bit of an undersized big.
I think Al was bigger, dude. I think Al was bigger. Yeah.
Yeah, but still undersized. Al was undersized technically. I think Al was 6'10".
Yeah, but I think Al was maybe a little. I don't know. I
think Al was a brick house. I understand that.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know.
We don't go Queen. I think it's Jakučionis.
6 is rich for my blood with Queen. 6 is rich for my blood with Queen.
I would go Kasparas Jakučionis because I think he could.
I mean, if we had to go with the guy I would take here, it would be Jakučionis.
Yeah, and it fits what they need, and it'll allow them because Jordan Poole, I believe, isn't expiring now, right? Or has one more.
I think Kasparas Jakučionis is
Is it Jakučionis or Jakučionis?
Was really impressive.
Jakučionis or Jakučionis?
Yeah. It's Jakučionis.
Jakučionis. Okay, yeah. Jakučionis. Thank you for that. Okay, so we get over here to the Pelicans.
Yes,
I think Jeremiah Fears makes the most sense. You have DeJounte Murray out.
Knueppel makes a lot of sense too, but that is if you keep Zion Williamson. But even
so they're saying they're going to keep Zion.
Yeah. Then why not Con?
Dude, the non-conducive gases from all that salsa I'm drinking. But so we're they're going to keep Zion, so we're going Knueppel, even though we have a blown out tire and DeJounte Murray.
Doesn't point Zion work the best anyway?
I agree. You need guys who don't need the ball in their hand around Zion.
And then you get like, the whole thing is just trying to spread the court for Zion.
Exactly. I agree with that. Take the
fantastic shooter. Yeah.
It's people who don't need the balls in their hands who can just play alongside him. So
I mean, Paul can do more than just shoot too. Like that.
I know. I
think he's a really good prospect. I just think the upside you would expect at 3. That's where I'm a little bit worried about him taking him that high. But yeah, I think it's 7. Like in this draft, is like perfect.
Nets Fears then.
I don't know, man. Yeah,
that fits positionally, and like I think he's unless you think Yagor goes there.
Oh, Yagor could. It's possible. I like. Yeah, I
think Gosai wants a Ruski on his team. You think they're still bad?
The whole Prokhorov thing.
I was literally thinking.
It doesn't take him just to spite Prokhorov.
I was trying to think of some old Chinese-Russian affair that happened maybe 100 years ago, like something with like the Bolsheviks that we could bring up, but
yeah,
there could still be bad blood.
Why don't we do something that's a little more modern that is also tied to the NBA? But yeah, I think Jeremiah Fears could be the pick here.
I think
I wonder if they just don't kind of go with a
Nick Claxton replacement.
Yeah, or just some kind of upside swing with.
I think Fears or who's your real upside guy? That's like wow guy. Like that fits their need. I think you want to go Fears or a center, and I don't think they're. I think Milwaukee is not.
I mean, this is a spot where Fears kind of has to go, or he could slide quite a bit.
That's what I'm saying. I think Fears goes right here.
Yeah.
That's what happened last time I did this by myself. Kasparas fell to like the back end in the 20s because I had Fears go behind him, in front of him, and I had Derek Queen go to the Wizards. And this was before it was right after the lottery. And then I was like,
have you pigeonholed Kasparas into just a point guard? Because I think he could play either guard spot.
No, I have not pigeonholed him. No, I agree with you. He's a shooter. But the whole thing happened though. I just had like other teams' positional things, and then I was like, oh my god, he's still on the board at like 20 or something like that. Because I agree, if the guards don't go early, somebody is going to fall. Not like an Isaiah Collier way, but like in the sense that teams just don't need guards after like the first 10 picks, and then like you're just stuck, like just waiting till the Nets come back on the clock. If the Nets don't take you. So I think this is obvious. Masai Ujiri loves his African players. And
I'm with you on this one.
Yes.
I already know who you're going to choose.
and it seems like Jakučionis will be on his way out in some sort of way in like the near future, this year.
Like, let's be honest. Like, I don't know if Commons.
He had a great year, though. He had a great year.
No. I'm saying I'm not sure he's going to immediately start in the NBA. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, and it works out well. They'll probably re-sign Jakučionis with the potential of a succession plan of, come on, we'll watch. Now, Rockets right here. I think it's either Fleming or Murray Boyles, maybe. I think it's a win now guy or Carter Bryant.
I would think Carter Bryant or Murray Boyles would be more likely just because
or center.
Defense and the field.
I could see Knueppel.
The guy I'm kind of leaning towards is Murray Boyles for the Rockets.
I agree with them, especially. I could see them going to center if they.
But after you take those, are you thinking they take Queen as well? Like
no, I was thinking Sorber.
Ooh. Not out of the question. Not out of the question.
If they think Adams is leaving, if they think Adams is gone or something like that, or is like they just want to move on, I think Sorber would be like the perfect screening backup wide big. I just think
you want to take a backup big at 10. And like
no, he would be developed to play next to Şengün, how they did with Steven Adams, where they would play the two bigs with one doing like the Gortat screens to open up the lane for the other one. Yeah. I'm going Murray Boyles with you. I'm going Murray Boyles here with you, though. But you get my reasoning, though. I could see them going.
I get it. I also like. I know Sorber measured like.
I think they would trade back, though. If they did big, they would trade back probably a couple picks.
Yeah. That. I think that's likely if they.
Okay, so your neck of the woods. I'll let you choose your Portland Trailblazers.
Oh dang, dude! I saw your picks for them, and you had like Carter. You had. I don't have your picks up, sorry, but who else did you have for Portland?
I think the last one I had on Hoops Hype or on this.
No, the list you sent me. You sent me a list of like 3 names.
Oh yeah. My apology.
You had Carter.
So I had if Murray Boyles was still available, I would not be surprised if this is a Murray Boyles. So Noah Essengun, Yagor Demon, Carter Bryant, or Rasheer Fleming will be the 4 that I think could go.
So okay, I'm gonna throw a 5th. Cedric Coward.
I love Cedric. You think this early now?
I don't think this early, but I'm interested, man. I'm very interested.
They're making a playoff push. I think they want to go older guy, or they want to go. I could see Noah going here.
If they wanted to go older guy, why not Cedric Coward?
I know, local guy, but I just didn't think that fits the. Unless you think Denny's going to play power forward.
I think Denny pretty much is a power forward.
Yeah, he is, but no, like they're saying full time.
Yeah, Denny has been their power forward.
We go Shaden at the 2. Scoot at the 1.
I mean, you think the 11th pick is going to start for the Blazers?
No.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying, and you still have Matisse Thybulle. I think you not want to take a Liam McNeely to space the floor.
But your number 1 shooter, may I bring up, was who?
Chaz Lanier, right?
Nope. That was my number 1 shooter. Remember?
Did I have?
You had Cedric Coward.
I did have Cedric Coward. You're making me go off.
Yeah. I was just saying.
I do love Cedric Coward.
But you want to know who I think the Blazers will probably take? I would guess
who?
Carter Bryant. I think they could.
I think that fits their combo because you could play next to. I do agree with. I actually like that Carter Bryant. I think if it's not Carter, I think Noah Essengun would be the other one. I just think combo forward is what they would go with.
Okay. Yeah, I think SNG could be possibly in there.
Or 3-point shooter. Yeah. I think if it's not a combo forward like Noah or Carter Bryant, I think it would be.
You're saying a 3-point shooter, and I give you Cedric Coward. That's all I'm saying.
That's why I was about to bring that up. Cedric Coward and Liam McNeely would be like the other guys that I would go at that range as 3-point shooters. F you.
And Liam McNeely.
Okay, now we got here. Do you think the Bulls are going to continue to stack up on guards, or do they go big, or do they need anything? Who's the best player? Do you go Derek Queen here?
I mean, why not? Like,
I think Derek Queen goes here.
Yeah, I think that's certainly possible. Yeah,
it gives them a succession plan for Nikola Vucevic, and like, I think if Billy Donovan sticks around, I don't know what's going to happen there, but like, they got it. I think this is where Rasheer Fleming goes, by the way, to Atlanta.
Yeah,
it's perfect what they need. They just need someone to space the floor, and he's a wingspan beast, and I think he's legit. And
he is indeed.
Now we got the Spurs back on the clock. We had them take Dylan Harper. This is where I think Noah, they go a Frenchman.
Yeah, exactly. To pair with Victor Wembanyama, you take an upside swing.
Yeah, and the thing is Noah plays the same.
Yeah.
The thing is they would keep this pick if they did trade the second pick for Harper, and the second pick for Giannis, and if they trade for Giannis, Jeremy Sohan is gone. So regardless if Jeremy Sohan is here, I don't think they're going to pay Jeremy Sohan, and this is also a guy who could just replace Sohan, like terms of role and minutes eventually.
I think if they trade for Giannis, they could trade both of these picks.
Yeah, I know, but like in theory, they could keep this one if they were.
I also could see the Bucks taking SNG.
Yeah, 100% too. 100%. Yeah. So we got over here. I think Sorber could be the pick for the
OKC.
Yeah, I think they want big. They need a big. And he kind of fits. Imagine Harnstein and Chet Holmgren and then Sorber. That's better than Jay Will as your third big.
Imagine all the people.
What do you think? Would you go Knueppel or Jagor? I know this could be a Presti pick where he goes, Jagor, yeah. Like we took Topic and like, F it, we'll take swings.
I mean, I think Asa would be an interesting pick here.
Asa? I like it. I love Knueppel.
Yeah. It's Sorber, Newell. Yeah, honestly, either of them.
I just think Newell, problem is it gives them another guy that like home. I just think they want guys that won't get punked. Like where like Aaron Gordon is going to be able to like make Chet Holmgren fall.
Strong body. Yeah.
That's my whole thing. And I don't think they care about upside right here. I think they just want bodies. They're cheap.
Yeah. I mean, I think they do care about upside as well.
No, I think they do. But that's why you wouldn't take Danny Wolf here. I think you'd take like a Sorber if you were going to take a big. There's still a little bit more upside there. What do you think right here?
Sorber's a better passer, and
he just like, fits. I think
they want somebody with feel. They want somebody that can defend. They want somebody
timeline wise. They
strong, possibly play next to Chet. Yeah.
Have I sold you kind of on the Sorber right here?
Let's go with Sorber.
I just think instead, like, I love Newell. I think Newell is probably going to be better than Sorber. I just think if I'm the Thunder, I'm like, Sorber could play for us right now. Newell actually might have to spend some time in the G.
I also think this, with just the kind of how the Thunder see things.
Yeah. Jace Richardson to the Orlando Magic. They need 3-point shooting. And they need guard help. Or Liam McNeely. What do you think?
I almost wonder.
They could go Newell or the Jagor. I just don't think they need shooting, bro. They need shooting. They were the worst 3-point shooting team in the league.
Yeah.
And they're going to probably trade Cole Anthony.
Yeah.
I think Jace just fits. I don't know. And their other guards, and by the way, their other guards are massive.
Okay.
So he just fits.
If you say so.
I just think he's kind of like an Eric Gordon type guy who's a little smaller. He can play. He can be an undersized 2, or he's more of a 1. He's a great 3-point shooter. He tries on defense. He can be a secondary initiator. I just think for a team that is god awful at 3-point shooting and needs guard depth, he fits there. If you're not going to go there, I think it's Liam McNeely or Coward.
I almost wonder if they just keep
trade.
Going big. No, we'll trade for one or keep going big and take like a Jaeger Demon and just hope that his passing and
they would do that. Fuck that. You're right. You got me. They would just be. I think they would just double down. They would just double down. They've like
and it's asset building too, Cyro. Like what the thing is, like, yes, you want something that's going to address an issue with your team, but you want somebody that's going to play big minutes. And
be a stud. I
really like Jace. I was a little worried. He measured way smaller than I thought.
Yeah, we're the same height. I'm actually taller. He had fat ass shoes on when we walked by each other, so he was technically like a little taller than me. But like I was wearing like zero drops. Huh?
He's a great dude. I think he's going soon in the draft. I think maybe a few picks lower.
Okay, and I agree with Yagor. I love Anthony Black, and I was so surprised when the Magic took Anthony Black because they had just gone Jalen Suggs. I was like, oh, they wouldn't like double down and get like another like guy who kind of like is a big guard who is an even bigger guard who has a bigger question mark of shooting threes. And like, I think now that you said it, you know what, the Orlando Magic would just see Yagor if he was there. You know what? We made Anthony Black a good shooter. We made Jalen Suggs a good shooter. After we can make Yagor a good shooter. I'm not saying they're great
I think
shooter.
also
Shooting's the easiest thing to fix.
Trading up assets too. Like I think they're still in that stage.
Yeah.
And
so
if you're the last team that was in the playoffs, or I guess they were the 7th seed, but yeah, you're still kind of asset building and taking a guy that you just think you could possibly end up trading for more or could really help your team. And they think big, man. That is the thing. There's a reason their backcourt is so big, and they have these guys kind of running things in their front court.
And I'm so glad you called that out because I wouldn't have even thought of recalled that. I was just thinking about need, and then you know what, you're right. They think big, and they would definitely double down if Yagor's there. And they've taken guys who can't shoot and made them passable shooters so far in their careers. So we go to Minnesota. I could see Jace going here. I could see them going big. Or Liam McNeely. I think McNeely fills a need they need. Especially if Nickeil Alexander-Walker gets signed in free agency. He does not need... What, go?
Another guy who could possibly go there.
Who?
Is... I almost wonder if Jean Beringer.
Jean Beringer?
Yeah.
It's Beringer. It's Beringer.
Beringer? That's like the least French thing I've heard in my life.
It's either Beringer, or Beringer. Beringer, Jean Beringer, or Jean. It's either Jean or Jean.
Oh, Beringer.
Beringer? It's Beringer.
Beringer?
Yeah, that sounds French. Okay.
You're right. No. Yeah, I think Liam's a possibility here. I know you're looking for that guy. You know who else? Actually, Walter Clayton Jr. That could be a guy.
Not at the question.
Oh, dude, you know what? Dude, shoot, because it slipped our mind. Why not Cedric Howard, dude?
Oh my God, I think Cedric Howard would go here at this point.
We mentioned him earlier that we forgot. Yeah.
He would go right here. They would want someone. I think Coward. I think right here, especially Tim Conley. If he saw Coward available here, I think he would. Yeah. He likes that the length on a guy like that.
We probably should
pause. Who?
We probably should have taken him for the Magic. But no,
I brought him up. But you got me sold on Yagor. Okay. So we go over here and we go back to we're with the Wizards, and I think this is where Knueppel goes at this point. I think the slide ends, and this allows you to figure out if he's a big, and if he's not a big, you can try him out of the center positions. The same thing with I like it with Sar and him.
Yeah.
Now Brooklyn, I think Liam, you go here, or you go with a swing of some sort.
Yeah,
I think upside, and I think at this point Liam's I don't.
Who do we take at 8?
Fears.
So yeah, go with Liam.
And now you're the Heat. I think if you're gonna go a guy who's not NBA ready, it's Ben Seraph because of the Goran Dragic pass that the Heat have had, being able to run those horn sets and those 2-guard looks that they really love running, especially with the DHOs that Ben Seraph.
Well, Nolan Traore. No. Give me.
First off, Nolan Traore is Killian Hayes just in different skin. Okay, that's the first off.
A right-handed Killian Hayes, is that your?
Yeah.
A right-handed smaller Killian Hayes. Yeah.
I'm like, no offense. I think Traore could be better than Killian Hayes. He's a bit like less stiff, but like he's carrying the same torch.
Ben Seraph, you think is a heat culture guy?
Yeah, he seems like a he culture guy.
Walter,
By the way, yeah, especially if the owner's gonna tell them to take the Jew over the Frenchman. We're as both tribesmen right here. We're both Jewish here, and like the owner's Mickey's Jewish.
Mick Harrison is like you're thinking Ben Seraph.
Yeah.
Overruled.
You take the Jew. But what you think? Look, the problem with Nolan is like everything's on the left and no one's safe.
Walter Clayton Jr. I
actually do think that's possible.
Let's go Ben Seraph. Yeah, that's fine. I think
now Walter could be the other guy, but I just thought they need a passer.
Yeah, I mean that is something Ben Seraph certainly brings. Yeah.
And I just think Walter Clayton, you could get a guy like that in free agency.
Okay.
Or Jace Richardson.
You've sold me on Seraph with
Mickey.
I think either of them, like, yeah. Jace could certainly be a heat culture guy too.
I think that's it. Now we're back.
Awesome.
All right, now we're back in Utah. I think Utah would take a swing at the right-handed Killian Hayes.
You think Nolan Traore to Utah?
Yeah, is it Traore or Traore? Is it Traore or Traore?
I always thought it was Traore, but I've heard that last name pronounced in like 7 different ways.
They need a point guard, just depth, and I think Nolan's just
Yeah.
Okay.
Try and trade off everybody else.
I think either Nick Clifford, Danny Wolf, or Jace Richardson all could go here. I think they kind of just want someone to help them now. Kobe Buffkin's been hurt. Jean Buringer could go here to help out Onyeka.
Yeah. Like it seems like Capella's days are probably numbered.
Yeah, they're I think I see Nick could come in if they want some depth, but I see like
I think Jean Buringer or I think Danny Wolf.
Oh, to be a yin yang kind of thing.
Yeah,
I agree with that. Okay, now we got the Pacers. I think the Jean Buringer. If Jean Buringer's here, they will go for Jean Buringer. They need a big. Yeah.
Get the backup big.
And he can run the floor with Tyrese actually. Now
offense is where you have to worry.
I think Jace Richardson, if he's on the clock here and the Thunder come back, they would take Jace. He kind of fits their thing. Like in the terms of good feel, he's going to space the floor. Look what they did with AJ Mitchell. I just think they wanted guys who can play on or off the ball and kind of just.
AJ, if they think AJ Mitchell is a part of the future, like, do they want? And they have Case and Wallace. Like, I just think there's like.
I just think that there's going to be a roster crunch, so just continue to roster build and get players. I just think unless you think Clifford, who's like Aaron Wiggins 2.0, you want to bring him or a Will Riley.
I think that a guy that I think
Cam Jones.
No, I'm thinking Yaxel Lindeborg.
Ooh, yeah, like a more athletic slow-mo, gives them a Swiss Army knife guy who can even be a small ball five. Yeah,
also like one of those feel guys. Yeah.
Plus, it'll allow them to move off of Kenrick Williams' money if they wanted to. Okay, now we're up here. It's the Orlando Magic. I do like the idea of Noah Penda or Drake Powell going there. But Walter Clayton, Cam Jones.
I'll be honest, actually. So why not? I think Jace here.
I agree. I just think shooting was my thoughts.
Yeah. I could see Jace actually playing really well off of Yegor if they were in bench minutes together.
So Nets are back on the clock. If they keep all these picks, would you go Will Riley as an upside swing at this point? Boogie Flange dropped out.
He's gone.
Drake Powell. Would you go? I don't. That's like really like out of all. I mean, I love Bogey Markovic. I think he could be the steal of this draft.
You do love him. Who were their previous picks? So we took
Beers and McNeely.
And so you would take McNeely and Riley?
I mean, you're just the Nets at this point. You're just swinging. You're just asset building.
Maybe like go for a kind of established guy, Neek.
Yeah, you want just like an older guy.
Yeah, with the other two guys, being one and done guys. Yeah,
that could work. That could work. All right, now you're the Nets had back-to-back picks there. Do you go with? Yeah, I think you go
those picks.
Yeah, they're gonna have to trade one there, and like there's just not like bigs that they would swing at right here that are like worth it. That's why I said Bogujub or like Aruzic. I think like they're definitely trading these picks. I think we're both in agreement right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's look.
I think we just a big's the most reasonable thing, or like a Duthiero.
Maybe even like Kalkbrenner. Yeah.
I think if they went big, you wouldn't think they would go like Zakarski and just try to take a swing on someone like that.
That's a big swing at 26.
What about Markovic? I don't think
at least it's a huge swing if they take Zakarski. Yeah.
Markovic isn't as big as a swing. Markovic is like taking Santi.
Markovic, you kind of worry about. Like
it's a Santi Aldama pick.
Yeah, if you think. I don't know. I think. Yeah, you saw Markovic more than I have.
I would rather have Markovic at 27 than Ryan freaking Kalkbrenner, and I love Kalkbrenner, but like I just wouldn't want. I think if I had to go upside,
I'm talking about like going for like an actual center, and I don't think Markovic is an actual center.
I think he's a switch big who can play small ball 5.
Really small ball 5.
Not really. He's just
you see him defend during the Hoop Summit game.
Dude, he did better in Europe.
Yeah, he's playing against future NBA dudes in the Hoop Summit.
Right here, this is where Kalkbrenner would go if he's on the clock. Boston's taking Kalkbrenner, right?
You took Bogey. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Bogey. Yeah, because I just thought he's the only front court guy left that actually I think has upside out of all these players.
We're doing the whole draft, right? Like,
second round, we're gonna do speed round. Second round,
I'm very good with that. Announce the pick before you're doing it. Like, I feel like we're. Yeah.
I said it. I literally said it. I said I'm taking Bogey with the Nets pick.
Sorry, I missed that. But
go back.
Just say 28 Boston. Say 28
Boston.
So on. All that. Yeah.
Yeah, so 28 Boston.
Yeah. And you
28
think
Boston, Ryan Kalkbrenner, you agree with that?
Not necessarily.
1 second, I'm just going back. I can just go previous pick. There we go. Now, so I just think they need a backup big. Will Riley's too raw for them. LeBaron Philon, I love him, but too raw. Hugo Gonzalez could come in, but do they need a low usage guy like that? I think they could take him.
I'm gonna throw out a name here.
Thiero?
Clayton?
Ooh, you think they would go? They do have the 32nd pick though, and I thought that's what they would take Chaz Lanier with the 32nd.
I think they have options at 32nd regardless.
You don't think they would take like a Noah Penda or a Drake Powell here?
Possibly, but man, like this, how much the Celtics love shooting threes, and why not take the guy who?
You're right. Because then they would take the guy you want, and now you don't think Cam Jones would be the better option?
I think they're different players. Yeah, I like. To me, they have Peyton Pritchard. It seems like Drew Holiday is possibly coming back.
It seems like they're going to trade him too.
Yeah. I mean, there have been rumors, but all I know is Drew Holiday says he wants to be back.
So let's go, Chaz.
Words, but yeah.
Waller Clayton to the Suns. Waller Clayton to the Suns.
Yeah, let's do it.
They need some shooting. They need a guard. He fits them. They need a guy with experience going down the stretch. Right here, I could see Hugo Gonzalez, Cam Jones, or
You're talking 29th.
29. Yeah, my apology.
29.
Yeah. Sorry.
No
My
worries.
apology right here. So with the 28th pick, like we said, we took Chaz Lanier. With the 29th pick, we took Wall Clayton to the Phoenix Suns. So Chaz Lanier went to the Boston Celtics at 28. 29, we went to the Clippers, who went to the Suns. And now we're on the Clippers pick at 30.
Yeah, 30th pick, Los Angeles Clippers. Yeah, what are you thinking? There's a lot going on there too.
Kalkbrenner's on the board still, and I think he would be way better than Drew Eubanks.
Are you? To me, you can go that's a thing where you could go to free agency also.
That's true.
Yeah,
but
you know what? A guy I actually think might be kind of interesting for them would be Miles Bird.
He's really small though, skinny.
He is.
You don't think he's going back to college?
You think he is?
Do you think he is?
Oh, I don't know.
Dude, man. Renault would be perfect for them.
Renault he was another one that I was thinking was a possibility.
I think Renault. I like that. He's also from up the road, basically.
He's an interesting parallel to like a Zubac kind of guy.
Yeah,
Zubac.
More. So, yeah. Minnesota. Okay, we're gonna go speed here. Minnesota's back on the clock. They took Cedric Howard. Do you think they would go a player that would help them out now? I think Thiero would interest them, or Cam Jones. Give them another guard help. I like Jones.
Cam Jones. Yeah.
So we're gonna go quick here. Just kind of
a point guard.
Austin's back. Kalkbrenner's still on the clock board. I think if Kalkbrenner's there, you would take him, right?
Certainly a possibility.
Or Janai Broom. I think they go big at this point.
Yeah, I agree with that. Though Noah Penda kind of seems like a guy they might be interested in as well. Let's go Kalkbrenner. Yeah.
I think Kalkbrenner or Zerkarski could be the other one, but too big of a project, I think, for them.
I think as well, yeah.
Charlotte, they took Ace Bailey.
Charlotte took Ace Bailey, so 33rd.
Was Boston taking Kalkbrenner, and now 34th is Hornets.
32nd was Boston taking Kalkbrenner, 33 Hornets.
My apology. They have back-to-back picks, though.
Yeah, they do.
I would see LeBaron Philon or Will Riley.
Oh, let's go with Will Riley. Some more scoring upside there.
And then do you go with a big to try to see if you can have insurance for Mark Williams?
Whoever you're taking at 33 probably isn't going to be much insurance.
But like a Janai Broom?
I don't see Janai Broom being like a guy a Hornets guy. Yeah.
You don't think he smokes pot?
Beyond that, just the lack of lift.
I think Alex Condon's kind of like a Mason Plumlee.
Do you think Alex Condon goes back to college?
If they offer him enough, if he is I see him like a Mason Plumlee. So if someone thinks he could be a late first, no.
Yeah. Just making sure we haven't missed anybody else.
Do you think they take a swing on Zerkarski?
Probably not. Noah Penda.
I think Noah Penda.
Small ball guy, yeah.
Yeah, especially with Tajon Saloon looking like a bust after 1 year. Or Alex Tui.
I like Penda.
Yeah, same same position. So
yeah.
Sixers
at 35.
Yeah. Charlotte took at 34. Yeah. Noah Penda, and now at 35, Sixers.
And their previous pick was VJ Edgecombe.
Yep. You think they go big like Janai Broom?
That's a possibility as a backup big. Yeah.
Yeah, I think just because he has that pedigree.
Yeah.
All right, Brooklyn right here, upside, LeBaron Philon.
I'm going Drake Powell.
I agree with that. I don't even have to contest that. Yeah, they would take the guy who's jumping out the gym. Here, LeBaron Philon does make kind of sense for Detroit, or a Hugo Gonzalez, or an Adu Thiero. I think they could go just a shooting guard, small forward, or a power forward.
Yeah.
Who would you go?
Probably Philon.
Especially that they're gonna maybe probably trade one of their guards.
Yeah.
Not Kay Cunningham, but like somebody else. Spurs are back on the clock.
Thiero the past couple years.
You think Hugo Gonzalez would go here if he's the Spaniard, if the Spurs are on the clock?
Ooh.
That kind of fits their narrative.
Possibly.
Or I think Alex Condon would be the guy, but they already took Noah Essengun and Dylan Harper. I just feel like Hugo Gonzalez would be like the toolsy guy they would also try to take because they're probably going to move off of Keldon Johnson or somebody, you know? What are you thinking?
I'm still kind of looking at the board here.
Proctor. Tui could be a guy they like.
And
Kobe Brea.
Yeah,
Watkins.
Just looking for a shooter, yeah. Do you think Markovic would go back overseas for a while?
We already drafted Markovic to the Nets, remember?
Oh, you did take him 27. My bad.
Yeah. It was just we were talking bigs and upside bigs. That's all I.
What do you think of John Tonji?
Who?
John Tonji from Wisconsin.
A better shooting version of Johnny Davis.
Possibly. I mean, isn't that if you're taking that and
that's awful in the second round. I don't even want that in the second round, bro.
Oh no!
What about Michael Rusic?
I do Thiero.
I like Thiero.
Yeah. 38.
I think they would want some athleticism out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Raptors.
Yes, we had going at 38, Adu Thiero to the Spurs. Now at 39, Raptors. Okay. I think right here. I mean, they took Mowatch. Kobe Brea makes sense for them if they want to go shooting. So does Jameer Watkins.
Oof. Pickens are pretty slim.
Yeah, who would you go right here?
Slim.
Miles Bird kind of makes sense. So does
that's the guy I was looking at.
Tyrese Proctor does too.
Yeah.
Who do you think? Kobe Brea if they want shooting. Rusic if you want the foreign connection. I just think they would go more of like a swingman.
Yeah, I think Miles Bird.
Let's go. I think that's a good pickup too. Just a toolsy guy.
Yeah.
Now, that was the 39th pick. The Raptors took Miles Bird. With the 40th pick, the Wizards will be on the clock. Hugo Gonzalez, I think, would go here if he's still on the clock. Former Thunder front office guys. They just take an upside on a player who seems like he's got feel. Golden State Warriors, I think 3-point shooting or Alex Condon.
Mm-hmm.
Or Tyrese Proctor.
Yeah.
Tui makes sense. Salas makes sense. Kobe Brea.
Yeah, you did. I don't know. To me, Kobe Brea is just like it's kind of an overlap of some of the guys they have already.
But they value so much 3-point shooting. Gary Payton.
They do. Yeah.
Jameer Watkins is another one I think they would value.
I think Alex Tui would be a good pick there.
So do I. I just think they want someone to come in and help them now. So, son of a cricket player, Alex Tui goes at 41 to the Golden State Warriors. 42, the Sacramento Kings are on the clock. And, I mean, do you think they swing at Ding Pei?
Possibility.
Same thing with Zakarsky. They would be a sorry.
You know what?
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant. Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that they need some help. I think Kobe Bryant could be the Jalen Wells if he's taken in the second round of this draft class as like being a really good 3-point shooter for a team. Utah Jazz, they took Nolan Traore. Do you think they would take Zikarsky right here or Alex Condon or Hassan Yang because they need a big?
I would. Hansen Yang seems possible.
I just think he's Dwayne Dedman or Luka Garza, but like that's just me. I'd rather have Zikarsky.
That was your scout.
Yeah, that's what someone told me. When he told me that, I like laughed and I agree with that so heartedly.
Yeah, let's take Hansen Yang to the Jazz.
Now, Hansen Yang with the 43rd pick going to the Jazz. Now we have the 44th pick, Thunder here. They are taking Lendenberg and Sorber. If Pettiford is still in the draft, I'd have him go there. But Dink Pate kind of seems, or Hunter Salas feels like somebody they would take.
I like Tahad.
Todd going there. I think Todd could be like a Dennis Schroeder type guard. If it
he's a real different pace than what they have actually. So
yeah. All right. Bulls. So going with the 44th pick, we have OKC taking Todd Pettiford with the 45th. Bulls are on the clock. They had taken Derek Queen, Dink Pate. We also mentioned earlier Hunter Salas. I think that's one guy that could go. The Jameer Watkins is another. What do you think?
Have we took Derek Queen was the pick for the Bulls,
yes.
right? Yeah. And I'm thinking
I think they swing with Dink Pate.
Oh. What about Mackenzie Mbako?
He cooked, and I think they would like that size, especially with Patrick Williams being.
Yeah, like I think they have like a similar thing there.
Combo forward. I like that. And former 5-star recruit. I also think his game was always better for the NBA than it was for college.
Could definitely help with the spacing. Yeah.
At worst, he's Caleb Houston. But now Orlando, ironically. So with the 45th pick, we have Chicago take Mackenzie Mbako. Then Orlando at 46. They had taken Iagor and Jace. I think this is where the Alex Condon. He's hard. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of a little crazy he slipped this far. Yeah. I've been bringing him up for the last.
Milwaukee, do you think they would take Rocco, especially if Mr. Brook is gone and they kind of like they've always taken high upswing on guys?
Yeah.
Dink Pate's another one. I think
they like huge. I mean, center size is important, and Milwaukee appreciates that.
What do you think?
I can see Rocco going here.
You think we should do that, or like a Tyrese Proctor or a Dink Pate? I think they also want a guy coming now, Hunter Salas
as well, like a Wisconsin guy.
That's true. What do you think?
Let's go with Rocco. Rocco's.
I just think, especially if Brook Lopez potentially leaving.
Yeah.
Now, so that'd be 47. Milwaukee take Rocco. 48. Memphis. The Grizz. This feels like they would either Darian Williams, Jameer Watkins, Hunter Salas. Like they appreciate their multi-positional guys.
What are the Grizz geniuses going to do here? And man,
Ethan Almanza, John Tunji,
Micah Peavy. No, I don't think they'll take Ethan. Yeah, it's hard for me to think they'll take Proctor also. Just trying to enter the mind of the Grizz.
Darian Williams just kind of feels like a guy they would take. I think Jameer Watkins.
Man.
What do you think?
Yeah. Let's see. 1 second. So who are like narrow it down to like a few guys.
Let's go. I think they want someone to help them now. Tyrese Proctor, Hunter Salas, and Jameer Watkins.
Tyrese Proctor, Hunter Salas, Jameer Watkins.
You
feeling Jameer?
Yeah. Jameer or Hunter? I think they want the shooting, especially with Luke being an expiring.
Let's go with Jameer. He was a hustle kind of guy.
Okay, so with 48, we had Jameer going to the Grizzlies. 49, it is going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers. This does feel like a Hunter Salas or a Tyrese Proctor.
Cleveland, Hunter Salas, Tyrese. Go with Proctor.
Especially that Proctor kind of said, I'm going to try to be like a poor man's Dyson Daniels last year.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
I know. Dink Tate going to the Knicks. I think they would try to take that swing there.
I can see
or
that.
Hunter Salas.
Go with Dink Tate.
I just think they kind of take like one good guy and one like swing, it feels like always. Now with the 51st
Whoever they're
pick,
taking there is not getting any minutes, but
yeah, 50th pick, Knicks took Dink Tate. 51st, it's the Clippers, and Clippers have taken Maxime Renault. Hunter Salas.
What about John Tonje? Have we taken him yet?
We have not taken John Tunji.
Let's go with John Tonje.
You find him on this board because he's
he's elusive.
He might not be on the board.
Really now?
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
No John Tunji on this board, brother.
What the what?
Did he drop out of the draft?
No, he's a senior.
Okay.
Yeah.
So John Tunji's not on this board.
Bro, they're already giving John Tonje a two-way.
Hunter Salas instead.
How do you not have a guy who was
Okay.
in the draft combine on the board? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
We're gonna take Hunter Salas instead.
Yeah. Tell me we've taken Jedi Broom, by the way.
Yes, we took Jedi Broom.
Okay, good. Yeah, let's take Hunter.
We took, I think, Janai to the Sixers, I believe.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
So with the 51st pick, Clippers take Hunter Salas. Now we had the Suns take Mr. Walter Clayton with the 29th pick. With the 29th pick, now they're back on the 52nd pick. Do you think they take like a Darian Williams or a Sion James? Or Michael Ruzic or Ethan Almanza?
What about Yannick Conan Niederhauser?
Not on the board, but we can imagine him being on the board.
Son of a gun, these guys. What is happening here?
Yeah, bro. What? They have Samson Johnson on this board.
Great dude. Really
okay.
Nice guy.
So we're gonna have this be Yannick Niederhauser.
They have Caden Carlisle.
Guys.
You took Samson Johnson?
No. We're using our imaginations right here. Imagine Yannick Conan. Yeah, right here. Ready? This is
You like the pick, right? Yeah. This is Yannick Conan Niederhauser. Yeah. He tested absurdly well. And
I know.
At 52. I know these are your picks too, Sierra. Like these
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Picks are your favorite picks of the draft.
I know. They're my favorite. These are my guys.
I want to go with your guys as much as possible here.
You think Michael Ruzic would be the guy to take a swing right here, Utah? So because
I don't know. Do you think Michael Ruzic stays in the draft?
He played like shit. But 52nd pick was Yannick Conan Niederhauser to the Suns. 53rd. I mean, I don't know. We had to take. You know what? I mean, they would be the foreign team to do it, though.
What is with this, man? They have JT Thompson. They have Jaleel Bethea.
Yeah, bro. I don't even want.
I just want people to know.
Sion James.
Oh well, I guess yeah. Like I haven't been looking at it because it's really small from my angle. But yeah, I'm finally looking at it, and man, they have a lot of guys who are going back to school.
Sion James.
Yeah, let's take Sion James. I think he gets drafted.
So with the 53rd pick, Sion James to Utah. With the 54th pick, Pacers. They took Jean
They already took a big.
Mark Sears, or we take Ryan Nemhard.
You just want the littlest guys in the draft.
I was just thinking about not like that, but
yeah. I mean, Andrew would love to have his brother, I'm sure, but yeah, that's a small dude. Really talented guy, but dude. And I'm just gonna assume he's not on the board.
Yeah.
Kobe Sanders.
Yes, I love Kobe Sanders. He's definitely not on the board, and I'm so mad. And I'm a huge Kobe Sanders fan. I looked forward to him going to Portsmouth. Somebody told me about him when he was at Kobe Poly. And you know what? We're just going to put Kobe Johnson, who was also at Portsmouth.
Yes. We're going to put Kobe Johnson and have Kobe Sanders. Yes. I like it. At least
Kobe Sanders is a swingman defensive guy who can guard 1 through 3. Love Kobe Sanders. He's going to be a great NBA player. So with the 54th pick, Pacers take Kobe Sanders. Now with the 55th pick, Lakers, there's no bigs really. I mean, they could take Jonas Adu.
Probably not.
Lachlan Olbrich. I actually really like that going to them. He can play both the 4-5. Lachlan Olbrich.
You're the biggest Lachlan guy.
I'm a big Lachlan guy.
Cyro, then do you want to Lachlan it in?
Yeah.
And by the way, is he on the list?
No, he is. But I was gonna say
he's on the list?
Yeah, he is on the list.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, I see it. I see it now.
Some might say that's a little Olbrich for me.
I appreciate that. And another non-lob target big for Luka Doncic. That's awesome.
He can be a lob target. I think you're
gonna the F.
This is a forfeited pick, so ignore it. So with the 55th
pick, yes,
that pick is this is forfeited. But with the 55th pick, Lakers took Lachlan Olbrich, and now with the 57th pick, Grizzlies are back on the board. They took Jameer Watkins. So what do you think they would take here? Darian Williams or Mark Sears?
Do you think Milo stays in the draft?
Yeah,
he's a possibility.
Shalon Lowe.
Who?
Caleb Love, Jalon Lowe.
Jalen Lowe.
Oh my God.
He's going to Kentucky.
Wow.
Yeah.
You already committed?
Yeah. He's not in the draft.
He was at the combine or the G League.
Jalen Lowe was not at the combine.
Jalen Lowe was at the elite camp.
Was he?
Yeah.
I never was he. Oh, okay. Well, he didn't make it to the combine then.
No, he didn't.
Yeah. Did he play well in scrimmages?
Yeah, pretty decent. He's like the best.
You don't think he's going to college?
I mean,
I think he's going to college.
Probably.
Yeah.
RJ Louis.
RJ Luis. The guy that Rick Pitino decided. Or I think it's Lewis. Yeah, RJ.
Is it Lewis? Yeah, it's RJ Lewis.
Yeah, he was the guy that Rick Pitino decided not to play. And
Payne Sanford.
Oh, you know what? So this pick is going to
the Grizzlies at 57.
Shoot, it was a guy I had in my head, and all of a sudden he left my head. Where is it? Max Shulga seems like a possible. Oh, Micah Peavy. Let's go, Micah Peavy.
They would take Micah Peavy.
That's very Grizz.
Defensive guy. Let's go tell Rich Stayman and his boys go there.
Shout out formerly Mavs draft, Richard.
Formerly Mavs draft. Yeah, that's another guy that you meet in person. Real good guy. Okay, Orlando's back in the clock. They took Alex Jace. So with 58th pick, we had Michael Peavy going to Memphis. With the 57th pick, Memphis taking Michael Peavy. With the 58th pick, Orlando's back on the clock. And you know what they would do? Ruzic draft and stash.
The guy who's not staying in the draft? Yes.
Do you think if he stays in the draft, they would draft and stash him?
That's a possibility, yeah.
Or I was going to say Darian Williams, but he could go back.
I think Darian Williams is going back. I just have a feeling.
Ethan Almanza right here?
That's a possibility too.
I like Ethan more
I think Ethan's a possible draft and stash too.
Yeah, let's do Ethan here more than Ruzic.
Yeah.
Now, so with 50,
I mean, they need a new Al Horford.
Yeah, Ethan Almanza, the poor man's Al Horford. Give the people what they want.
Yeah.
So with 50,
you don't think he's the poor man's Wendell Carter?
No, 58th pick going Ethan Almanza, the Orlando Magic. With the 59th pick, Cleveland Cavaliers on the clock. They took Tyrese Proctor. I think they would look for a shooter right here. Don't you agree?
They would look for whatever the best player is right here.
That's true. Payton Sandford, Momo Faye, Coleman Hawkins. I actually really like Coleman Hawkins going there.
I hate it.
Wow.
Yeah, sorry.
You don't believe in Coleman Hawkins being the best passer at the 4 positions since Kevin Love?
That's insanity.
Outlet passes specifically.
You know who shot really well at the combine?
Who?
Has a little upside.
Who?
What about Carter Knox?
I think he's going back.
You think so?
Yeah. He'd be dumb not to.
Oh, what about Javon Small? The 46 3-point makes in a row. He measured small as hell, too.
I would not take him.
Yeah.
If I was going guard and I was dumb, guard. What? Mark Sears is better. Who?
Bryce Williams.
Bryce Williams. He's not on the board, but I take Bryce Williams.
I'm just trying to go with guys that aren't on the board at this point.
You don't think Payton Sandford?
He wasn't at the combine this year, but he was at the combine last year, and I have to say that again, to me, the combine, like the testing and measurements, as a person that
was he that bad?
He's the end all be all. It left like some concerns. Yes.
Okay,
like,
do you think
if he hits the athleticism threshold, he's a really good shooter. But if he hits that,
first Omarui or Jones Adu?
You think for Cleveland they'd take a big guy?
Yeah, they need a backup. You want Damian Jones and Tristan Thompson to keep backing you guys up forever?
They probably trust them a little bit more than either of those guys.
Wow.
And then, like, at 59th, you're going for a backup? Like, you can find that in free agency.
Malik Lewis, that kind of fits what they like.
Ooh. Yeah, take the upside on him. Have him play for Canton.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just or Cleveland charge now. Figure it out, bro.
Cleveland charge.
Yeah, with the 59 pick, Malik Lewis to the Cavaliers. And with the final pick in the draft, the 60th pick, the Rockets will select. You think Darren Williams? I think they'd go Mark Sears if they had taken a Colin Murray Boyles. Mark Sears just kind of feels like a gritty guy they like.
I'm going to go with no.
Wow. Why?
I'm vetoing Mark. He's so small, man.
Dude, he's not that smart, but they love that shit.
No, he's so small.
They love that.
He's not smart. What?
No, I said small. I think they would love Mark Sears and his toughness and his grit.
I don't think that.
That just seems like a guy that they would want to bring in.
I don't think so. They already have Fred and Reed, man.
Yeah, and just have a depth guy.
Like, I think they like kind of. They're going with the defend and
tying Grant Foster.
Hell no, no.
No. Hey, he was at the combine last year.
He was, but he's also like, yeah, man. He had a rough year.
He did.
A really rough year.
Sadly, that for-profit Christian university didn't help him.
I think he goes back to school.
He can't.
No. I said I think Darian Williams goes back to school.
Okay, so who do we go?
Yeah.
Ben Henshaw, and they just draft and stash him?
I think Ben Henshaw is going to school.
So do I. St. Thomas?
No.
Momo Faye, Igor?
They take Kobe Johnson. No, I'm just kidding. Because you already used him.
I do that. I think Mark Sears is really what they fit. They like those small guards.
He's so small, man.
I'm going Mark Sears right here.
Okay.
All right.
If they do take Mark Sears, dude, I'll buy you a Moscow Mule. How about that?
Sounds good. Sounds good. What just happened? Oh,
Whoa, I don't
there
know.
we go.
Cool.
So right here with the 60th pick, we took Mr. Mark Sears.
Technically the 59th pick.
59th pick, yes. But this is our mock.
Yeah.
I'll give you guys a slow pan through. But again, if
No,
you guys
Ciro, you need to read every name on the mock and the team that's selected.
you can blow me. But if you guys want to go check out the Get in the Game 101 draft course, use my promo code Cyro, link in the description, and go check out Mikey's links down there below. Anything else you want to say, my guy?
Yeah, just NBA Draft Mikey V. We're looking forward to having Cyro in the draft course with us. And it starts on May 20th. It'll be at 8 Eastern Standard Time, 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And it'll be over the next 6 weeks. We have wonderful speakers. John Ross started Getting the Game 101. Bjorn Zetterberg worked for the Portland Trailblazers and the Orlando Magic in analytics. We have other former NBA workers, Kendra Chaney, who did medical and training for the Portland Trailblazer staff, who I learned something new from every time. Sonny Alawalia is a constant drop-in for Getting the Game 101 as well, worked for the Memphis Grizzlies. And yeah, these are all people that Cyro saw in the NBA training camp class. So classes are 2 hours. We're going to have blind resumes, which you get to be part of. The reason it's called the NBA Draft Cohort class is you're kind of part of a front office with other people. And you get to go through these blind resumes and build a draft around a franchise player that, we give us a selection of. And then that last week we do a mock draft. And you get to learn about the NBA draft from a 360-degree lens. You kind of see through every way, plus learn how they got jobs in basketball. So yeah, that's just the breakdown I wanted to give for the NBA draft class. It's my favorite Getting the Game 101 class, and would love to see you guys there. And after class, Cyro and I are going to be, I'm hoping Cyro will hang out, and you get to talk with us and ask us whatever draft questions come to mind. So yeah, or give your takes, which we'd love to hear as well.
No, definitely. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Now can.
All right, sweet. Yeah, no, I had myself muted. No, that definitely, if you guys want to go check out Getting in the Game, links in the description. It's going to be a great time, and we hope to see you there. So thank you for checking out this mock. Like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, guys. Thank you, Mikey, for doing this.